Welcome to Geek Rant. Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Rant. It's Greg again here on the channel with Toby, and today we're going to be talking about the new Disney Plus series, Agatha All Along. Okay, so we it came out on the 18th, I believe.
Yeah, which was yesterday. No, 2 days
before.
ago. Yeah.
And it was a 2-episode premiere.
Pretty much gone under the radar, isn't it? It's one of these ones
Yes.
that I haven't heard much about.
Yes.
I think this is something they promised, filmed, and then they haven't really gone on about it.
No, I think exactly that. And from watching it, I think that's probably the best option. Yeah.
I have to say, I don't think I have seen a worse TV series than this since She-Hulk.
Since She-Hulk, yeah, I was going to say
Yeah,
She-Hulk was
yeah.
terrible
Yeah,
in
that
places,
was terrible.
wasn't it?
I think that on some level, this
Yeah,
has worse elements than She-Hulk.
yeah, yeah. It feels like it's been written by a 5-year-old, doesn't it?
Yeah,
The dialogue is appalling. The attempts at humor are just so disappointing.
I think that this is important to nail down this aspect. Actually, the writing is terrible, and
Yeah.
part of the reason for it is there doesn't seem to be any reason for anything that they do.
No.
So she wants to get on a road that we know nothing about.
Yeah.
It may as well be follow the yellow brick road. Follow the
Well, they were singing it, weren't they?
Exactly. And I think it was kind of like, give me a reason for any of these witches.
Yes.
To join.
Yeah,
she says she finds these witches, and each of them has a dead end job. Yeah. And so they're willing to join her on this kind of mythical journey.
I know.
She spends literally a minute with each one.
Yeah,
and like,
I know.
You're coming. And then, okay. And they're like,
go to the
give
next
me some
one.
story.
Oh, you've got this problem. You know, you're being sued.
Yeah. I mean, that is I highlight that because I think it's important when we say this is crap.
Yeah,
there are reasons for it. I mean, I go into these shows always hoping to be entertained.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know, my expectations aren't high for stuff like this, but when you're presented with stuff that is so badly constructed, that has no narrative plot, no kind of idea, we're given characters, we know nothing about them.
Yeah,
they seem to have they're willing to join on this band. We have this teen who we don't know his name.
Yeah,
just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah,
she's rude to him, you know, and he worships the ground she walks on. But I'm like, he has no substance, does he?
No.
And what is he? Is he a witch? Are we saying that he has?
I think he was trying to say that he was following her along to try and get some power, to get some sort of power or some sort of, you know. I mean,
that he's a witch?
I think he wants to become like a witch, or he wants to get, you know.
Is this about transitioning or something like that? I mean, what is? I don't know. Aren't the witches in this all women?
Yes,
aren't they?
I think so.
This isn't. I'm not trying to be sexist or anything like that. I'm just trying to understand the storyline because they don't. She doesn't mention this.
I think so.
This.
It doesn't. There's no real law, is there? I mean,
I don't know.
The whole. I mean, I don't know where we start with this one. Really, it's
tricky because if they wanted to kind of make this open to men, maybe they should have had a man join this group. She should have gone to a man and had him, in a sense, like a warlock. And we've had shows where there are warlocks and witches, aren't there? And they kind of distinguish a bit, but they're the same.
Yeah.
But what I don't understand is why this boy is with them. Now, okay, they make a reference to him being gay, he's feminine in a way, but what does that have to do with the witches situation?
Well, there was a lot of suggestions of you know, Agatha was, I don't know, was it trying to suggest that she was gay as well with the
one of the assassins was into her?
It was really weird, wasn't it?
I was struggling. I don't give a toss about all the identity stuff. It
No,
doesn't
no,
bother me, but I like to
no.
know
What's the point?
what something
Why?
represents,
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
kind of how it comes across, and what they're trying to achieve with the story. It's a storyline. Tell me what's going on because it's just confusing,
Yes.
you know. And
Yeah.
there wasn't any. I don't have to have everything explained to me to the letter, but when you're just confused by it, it is annoying.
Yeah, it is. I think that's the thing. Are we going to have to wait a long time for any of this to be properly explained, do you think? I think
Hmm.
that's what I mean, at the beginning, obviously she was trapped in the world that Wanda had and I actually
That
went
was
back
weird.
I actually went back and watched the last episode of WandaVision
Yeah,
because I couldn't really remember all that had happened in that. And I mean, that last episode of WandaVision is basically a load of silly fighting, claiming
yeah,
about magic that didn't really have any proper laws or, unlike you, I like a little bit of, there's got to be some consistency. There's got to be an
yeah,
understanding of what their powers are about. Yeah, and we
yeah.
get no sense, do we, of what their powers are. They can just do
No,
all sorts of different stuff, and it doesn't really make any sense. And I mean, she was trapped in what was like a
this fake world.
fake world, a detective story,
Yeah,
and I am assuming that some of that's going to have some impact because they didn't show the body. This body that they
yeah. The
found.
face. They didn't show the
They
face.
didn't show the fact. They didn't show the
Yeah,
body. So I'm thinking there's going to be some reasoning for that. I hope. Well, I presume
yeah,
later on in the story. Um, you know what I mean? Because that whole bit was like virtually the whole episode until she suddenly came out of it at the end of it.
yeah. And Catherine Hand's portrayal of this
Yeah,
detective was so peculiar.
yeah.
I mean,
I mean, her
she
whole
was
performance has
throwing.
been pretty poor, in
It
my
has.
opinion.
When she's Agatha, you can
Yeah.
understand that she's kind of a bit weird. But
Hmm.
when she's playing this detective, it was as if she was channeling some drunk
Yeah.
person all the time. And she
Yeah.
was going kind of crazy with it. She's doing all these weird faces and like
It
and
was.
throwing her voice, making her voice deeper, like she was a man, maybe. I don't know. She was kind of going deeper, baritone type, raw, this kind of stuff. I was like, what is going on? It was like
She
a
was
group of,
overly like aggressive to everybody, wasn't she?
yeah.
Even the people who were trying to be nice to her, she was like,
There was no. I mean, the fact that she was vile through it
Yeah.
was fine. You can be a vile character, but it felt so kind of fake. And the
Yes.
actress, it just seemed so unnatural to her. And maybe that's partly the directing of stuff like this. She wasn't
Yeah.
given the right direction. She wasn't warned that when this went onto the screen, it was going to look really bad. And there's that scene where she's interrogating the teen
Yeah.
in that office, and she just completely loses it.
Yeah.
She gets this pad and starts writing and doing
Yeah,
strange
yeah.
things
That
in
I was like,
space.
what the hell's going
I
what
had
the
to
hell's
look
going on
away from the
here?
screen. It was
That
so
was
embarrassing. I had to look
that was
away.
really bad, wasn't it?
It was so
You
bad.
know.
And I
Even
was
if she was
like,
trying to like psych out the other character in some respect, but it was so bad, wasn't it? It was
yeah,
embarrassing. Oh
yeah,
my god! I think the problem with a lot of these series now is you don't seem to the characterization's really bad, so you don't feel any affinity for the characters. There's no
yeah.
real explanation as to why she wants to get the powers back or
No,
what's that's all why she wants to go on this path again, other than just to be kind of evil, I suppose,
to be
and
powerful, to
to
get her
be
power
powerful.
back.
It just
What is
doesn't.
that? What is that about? What are they trying to say with this?
Yeah,
It's a metaphor for so many things. I don't know what get the power back is.
yeah,
It never. I mean, she came out of the illusion, didn't she? And she's got herself back.
yeah,
But yet, is she not got the grimoire or whatever her book or whatever it was? Or
yeah.
I mean, I really don't. It doesn't make any sense. And then once she's got the power back, what is that going to achieve? I mean,
I know,
what's
and
the end goal? Why would we want to do this anyway?
this is it. This is why it's just not. It's so incoherent, isn't it? It doesn't make any sense. There's no real, and and to be honest, I mean, I watched it because I knew we were going to sit down and watch this. But after that first episode, started the second episode, and she started meeting the other witches, and I thought this is just ridiculous.
It felt like we're
I've
trying
never
to be a
seen
bit of a
something so
comedy.
badly written. It was horrendous.
I think it was meant to be serious. I think
You
they then
think?
tried to play it as a. I
I
think
thought it
there's
was
a
trying to be a
certain.
comedy that was just so bad it wasn't funny. You know,
I think there were certain things about it which were meant to be serious, like, but then what's that? What's the film? Practical Magic? Is it
yeah,
Practical Magic?
something like that. Yeah,
It's channeling that kind of, I don't know, that kind of
yeah, but that's a
goofball
comedy, isn't it?
comedy type thing. But I don't see that it could achieve that, because if you think about the beginning, it's quite a grim beginning, isn't it? It's promoted
Yeah,
as a like a 14 plus, is it? Something
yeah,
14
yeah.
plus.
It did.
And I'm like, so they show the body and it's like a setup. I'm thinking, oh, it's not a bad intro. She's
Yeah,
strutting around looking stupid, acting weird.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I'm thinking maybe this might be an okay start. They see the body. I'm thinking, oh, that's pretty intense for a Disney
yeah.
drama. And
I
I'm
mean, I mean,
like,
when I saw that bit, when I saw the beginning bit, I thought, oh no, this isn't another like WandaVision series where we're going to be in a different sort of reality world every
yeah,
time that has no real impact or I was that made me start to think I'm going to dread this. This is really bad. So I know it took virtually the whole episode to get out of that, but I was glad when
yeah,
it kind of came out. But then
yeah.
I wasn't glad because when I watched the second episode, I was like, "What is this? I mean, who is it for? This is the
That's the
thing.
question. That's
Who
what
is
I
it
was
for?
thinking.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, exactly.
as
Who's
a
the audience? Who's the audience?
as a mid to late 40-year-old man, this is not.
No.
I, I'm
And
I,
I
I
guess
would have
that we
thought I
have
was
to.
one of the target audiences
Yeah,
for Marvel.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Someone geeky who would like, but
yeah,
I want to see some action. I want to see,
yeah. Some
Marvel-esque
magic.
type stuff.
Yeah,
More magic,
yeah.
more story behind the magic, or how
I,
they, you know,
it's so true. I think you're right. I think who is this aimed at? This show. I mean, let's be serious here. I
mm.
mean, it's 14 plus, so
Yeah.
it's saying straight off the bat that it's not for young girls,
Well,
right?
this is it. But it's
And
written like that, isn't it? I
it
thought it
is,
was like a teen, type
yeah.
drama,
10 to 14-year-old
Yeah,
girls, maybe
yeah.
aspirational female role models. No, but I mean, I'm thinking,
But do you think a lot of those age group actually watch Marvel? And this is why I think they're getting a bit confused. Are they trying to
hmm,
draw in a completely different crowd of people to open up to more Marvel, new fans? But
hmm,
then you're alienating your current load of fans. That's what
hmm,
I just don't get their
hmm,
strategy with these
hmm,
programs. It was a bit like
yeah.
that with the Acolyte, wasn't it? Some of the Acolyte was a little bit, trying to target a different
Well, the Acolyte
audience.
was for my mind a purely family show. You could sit down
Right.
with the family and watch it.
Okay.
This, I think, I think, I think the men, in particular, the older men, would probably
Hmm.
just get up and walk out because there's no relevance. There's no reference for
And they
that
must be.
demographic
They must
in the
be
show.
70 or 80% of the Marvel
I don't know.
audience.
I mean,
They
it's
must
difficult to
be.
say, isn't it? I have no idea, and I think that it's difficult to say. But I know they're
Hmm.
trying to increase the demographic of
Yeah.
of women watching these shows.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest. I mean, you can't. You've got to pitch it more family. I feel you've got to
Yeah.
have a male character in there so that the young men can relate to that character. You've got to have a female character so so women can relate to that character, and then you've got to, and whatever's in between. But it just felt so like they didn't understand the audience. That was the
No.
main things. I was like,
No.
who is going to sit down and watch
I
this? Tell
know.
me,
I
can you
know.
can you get that demographic and tell me what it is? Because I think it's like 1% of the viewing population, which sounds like a really stupid thing to do.
I know. That's
Don't
what
you think?
I just don't get the strategy with it. I mean, I don't want to go back and watch the rest of the series.
Yeah,
It's
it's
I've got
so
no
put me
interest
off.
in it.
Oh,
Interest in it at all.
yeah,
It's a real
it's
shame.
terrible. Yeah, I think that there's a couple of other things to consider here as well.
Yeah.
And this is something that they do. They've been doing a bit more with shows. The lead character and the sidekick are particularly unlikable in this, in my mind.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
increasingly,
yeah,
I mean, if we look at Agatha, she's just a bitch, isn't she? I mean, she hates people.
yeah,
She's rude to people. She gets the wizards together at the end. She tells them, "I wish I'd never found you," and they've just given over their lives to her, like
yeah,
within like 5 minutes, and they're dissing them at the end.
yeah.
I mean, I'm like, why would you want to like or want follow an adventure with this character? I mean, it's ridiculous. And then the sidekick Joe, Jeff, who played by Joe Locke. I mean,
Yeah,
he's just he bows down to this disgusting character, this
yeah,
vile character, and you're like, why are you doing that? We
yeah.
can't understand your motives. Nobody
No,
understands what you're doing here in this show. So these two characters, they're so irritating. I mean, it's
yeah,
like, why would we watch something like that?
no,
What
exactly.
do these producers think when they're watching this show? They're like, oh, she's really, we've got to find out about her, see what she's up to. No, you don't. It's just so stupid.
Uh, yeah, it's a
Oh my
total waste of
God.
airtime, isn't it? I think, like you said, I think this was probably because obviously it's been like 2 or 3 years since the WandaVision thing.
Yeah.
I think this is
Which the
obviously
first season was okay at Wanda, I thought.
was that, it
I
was
thought it was
okay.
okay. I thought it was okay. It was signing up some interesting ideas. I quite liked the black and white thing in the end. I had to go back to it. I didn't like
Right.
watching it the first time, but I thought
Yeah.
in hindsight they were throwing something different out there.
It was
But
an interesting idea to try and explore, and
yeah,
I don't know if they necessarily carried it
no,
off
I don't
as
think they
well as it
did.
could have been, you
No,
know. And there was some other stuff around it, like the barrier and controlling
yeah,
people and all that sort of thing.
yeah.
Which yeah,
It just
and
got a bit like unbelievable, didn't it? In the end, I think
it
there's only
did,
so far you
it
can
did.
push stuff like this.
And this
You know,
this I think, as you saying earlier, is a like a cast off of that. It's something which they've probably agreed a contract with, the actors, because there's a
yeah,
fair few of the same actors that are in WandaVision in
yeah,
this.
yeah.
And the sort of background characters, and yeah, I think this is, like you say, it's a little bit under the radar. I think that they're trying to slip this one through, get it
Yeah,
through, get it done, and damage control on it, and not make too much of an issue of it, because I can't see this getting a second series. I can't see this going anywhere. This is like a
no,
one-off series that
absolutely.
for a character, I'm no, admittedly, I'm not a Marvel, comic reader or anything, but I know no, the main characters, don't you? And this
Hmm.
is like so far removed, isn't it? You don't even, it's
Yeah,
like a minor character that they're making a series for. It seems
yeah,
crazy. Seems crazy.
yeah. I mean, I would say that Catherine Han has got the look. She's got the look right. I feel,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
but I'm struggling to think of anything else good to say about it.
I
It's just
know.
the
I know.
acting is really badly
It
directed. It's all
yeah.
over the place.
It
I mean, it's
is. It is.
inconsistent. I mean, she's aggressive. They don't seem to play to the actor's strengths,
Mm.
which I was surprised by.
Yeah.
And she's I mean,
Yeah, I just
it
assumed it was a comedy that was completely unfunny. It just, that's how I had the feeling. Whenever they tried to create any sort of suspense, I didn't feel
mm,
apprehensive. I didn't feel concerned.
no,
I wasn't worried about what happened to her.
no,
And they couldn't bring anything to it, could they? Like that, there was
no.
some bits. Suddenly the music would change, and it's like oh, she looks up. Oh, there's a raven sitting on top of a sign. Ooh,
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
completely unsuspenseful.
yeah.
It
Even
just
at the end, when they're in the house and the lights are going
yeah,
and the
yeah.
smoke is coming out,
It looks
and the
like they're at
teen,
an
the boy,
amusement
is like
park, doesn't it? Rather
screaming,
than
"Help!"
looks like they're at an
Yeah,
amusement park rather than on a set of a film or a TV series. Everything looks a
yeah,
bit too
yeah.
fake real. Um,
It's so bizarre. You have a company that's got so much money,
yeah.
and then they put these ingredients together, and
Mm,
then it just comes out as a burnt cake, doesn't it? I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
it's like it's squished. It's like a cake you take and just squished down to about that It's that thick. It's not deep in the
No,
slightest.
no, it's
You know,
not.
it's so kind of you bite
Uh,
into it's chewy. It's like eating leather or rubber. You know, it's like it's a painful process. You know, and then
Definitely.
I mean, flipping hell, man.
I th
It
and I think that's
never
the thing.
amazes me.
There's not a lot to say about it, is there really? You know, we've had
No,
a couple of episodes. There's not really a lot to say about it. It's pretty. It was boring. It was, the plot was just so contrived, and like you say, met these people. Oh, you're coming with me. It was like they all lived in the same town. All these
yeah.
witches.
No journey, no
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
They
no,
could have had like little 15-minute
yeah,
short films within that episode where they
yeah,
meet these characters and we learn a bit about those witches and their powers and their,
yeah.
the different types of wizardry that they are involved with, and no,
A
there's
more
no depth, no
explanation
writing.
of those sorts of things would have been much more interesting, wouldn't it? To
Yeah,
actually look into how, and maybe even like when before she was met Wanda, before she did all that, there might be some other bits to explain how she became a witch or how she, and maybe that comes later in the series. I don't know, but it's been a pretty poor start, hasn't it?
oh, it's not. I just will forget to watch it. It is
I
so
know.
bad. Nothing about it will trigger in my mind for me to like switch onto Disney, and I'll be surfing through Disney like in a
Yeah.
week or two, and I'll be like, oh, we were watching that
Yeah.
because it's so bad. It's such a shame. I don't want to come on here and whinge about
No.
stuff like this.
No, I
I'd rather
know. I
enjoy. I'd
know.
rather enjoy the show, but this was
Yeah.
just some of the worst TV I've seen in a while
Yeah.
since
No,
She-Hulk. I
definitely.
mean, bloody hell.
Yeah. Yeah. It's on a par,
Um,
isn't it, really, so
it
far?
really is. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well. There we go.
Yeah. God.
All right.
Sorry,
Well,
folks.
yeah, that's what we thought. Let
Mm,
us know what you guys thought in the comments. Obviously, if you like what we're saying, don't forget to subscribe and press the like button. That would be brilliant. We'll try and get back to your comments as much as we can. Otherwise, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again soon.